The checks are moving. And if you're receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, what's happening right now directly affects your wallet. The Social Security Administration has confirmed updated payment schedules and benefit adjustments that millions of Americans have been waiting on. With the 2025 COLA, cost of living adjustment, already locked in at 2.5%, monthly payments have increased for over 72 million beneficiaries across the country. But here's what most people aren't hearing: the exact dates your money hits, which recipients get paid first, and what the new maximum benefit amounts actually look like in 2025 have all shifted. And if you're not tracking the right schedule, you could be waiting on money that's already been released. SSI recipients, SSDI holders, retired workers, and veterans drawing VA compensation are all on different timelines. And missing those details means unnecessary stress and confusion. Whether your birthday falls early, mid, or late in the month determines everything about when that deposit lands. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm breaking down every payment date, every group, and every dollar amount you need to know right now. So let's get right into it, because there is a lot to cover, and every single piece of this information matters to you personally. The Social Security Administration operates on a very specific payment system, and once you understand how it works, you will never have to sit around wondering where your money is or when it is going to show up. Millions of Americans are in that exact position every single month, refreshing their bank apps, calling their banks, sometimes even panicking. And the truth is, all of that stress is completely avoidable once you know the real schedule and exactly what changed heading into this year. Let's start with the big picture. The Social Security payment system is divided into groups, and which group you fall into depends entirely on your date of birth, specifically the day of the month you were born. This is not about the year you were born or how old you are. It is purely about the day. And this system has been in place for decades, but a lot of people still do not fully understand it, which is why so many recipients feel confused every month when they are trying to figure out whether their payment is late or just scheduled for later in the week. Here is how the schedule actually works. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your Social Security retirement or SSDI payment comes on the second Wednesday of each month. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, your payment arrives on the third Wednesday of the month. And if you were born between the 21st and the 31st, your money comes on the fourth Wednesday. That is the system in a nutshell, and it applies to almost every standard Social Security and SSDI recipient in the country. But here is where it gets a little more detailed, and this is important, because not everyone falls into those three groups, and SSI recipients operate on a completely different schedule altogether. If you have been receiving Social Security benefits since before May of 1997, your payment does not follow the Wednesday schedule at all. Instead, your check or direct deposit comes on the third of every month, no matter what day of the week that falls on. These are typically older recipients who have been in the system for a long time, and the SSA kept them on the original payment date as a legacy arrangement. So if you or someone you know has been getting benefits for many decades and wonders why their payment date seems different from what everyone else talks about, that is the reason right there. Now let's talk about SSI, Supplemental Security Income, because this program has its own separate payment calendar, and it is critical that recipients understand the difference. SSI payments are made on the first of each month. However, when the first falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the SSA sends that payment out early, meaning you will actually receive it before the calendar month even begins. This has caused some serious confusion over the years because people will see a deposit hit their account at the end of one month and assume it is something extra or a mistake, when in reality, it is simply their SSI payment for the upcoming month arriving ahead of schedule. It is not a bonus. It is not an error. It is just the SSA making sure you get your money even when a holiday or weekend gets in the way. And right now in 2025, that is especially relevant because several months this year have payment dates that shift slightly due to holidays and weekends. And if you are not paying attention to the updated calendar, you might miscalculate when to expect your funds. The safest thing any SSI recipient can do is check the official SSA payment calendar, which is published every year, or simply check your My Social Security online account where your personalized payment schedule is listed clearly. Now, let's move into the 2025 COLA increase, because this is where the genuinely good news lies. Every year, the Social Security Administration calculates a cost of living adjustment based on inflation data. Specifically, they use the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, known as the CPI-W. This number reflects how much the cost of everyday goods and services has gone up, and the COLA is designed to make sure your benefits keep pace with rising prices. For 2025, that adjustment came in at 2.5%. Now, 2.5% might not sound like a massive number when you first hear it, but let's put it into real dollars so you can understand what it actually means in your monthly budget. The average Social Security retirement benefit in 2024 was around $1,907 per month. After the 2.5% COLA increase, that average monthly benefit rises to approximately $1,955. That is roughly an additional $48 per month, or about $576 more over the course of the full year. For a lot of seniors living on fixed incomes, that extra money genuinely matters. It helps cover rising grocery bills, higher utility costs, and the everyday expenses that have crept up over the past couple of years. For SSDI recipients, the average monthly benefit in 2024 was around $1,537. With the 2.5% increase applied, that number moves up to approximately $1,575 per month. Again, it is not a dramatic jump, but in a household where every dollar is already accounted for, an additional $38 a month adds up to real money by the end of the year. And for people receiving SSI, which is a program designed specifically for individuals with very limited income and resources, the federal maximum benefit rate also increased. In 2025, the maximum federal SSI benefit for an individual is $965 per month, up from $943 in 2024. For a couple where both partners receive SSI, the combined maximum is $1,150 per month. These increases were automatically applied to payments starting in January 2025. You did not need to apply for them, you did not need to call the SSA, and you did not need to fill out any paperwork. If you were already receiving benefits before the new year, your increased amount simply showed up in your January payment. If you noticed your deposit was slightly higher than the previous month and did not know why, now you know. That was your COLA increase kicking in. Let's shift over to VA benefits, because veterans receiving disability compensation, pension payments, or dependency and indemnity compensation, also known as DIC, also received an increase at the start of 2025. VA benefit rates are tied to the same COLA calculation that Social Security uses, so the 2.5% increase applied across the board. The exact dollar amount of your increase depends on your disability rating and the specific type of VA benefit you receive, but every eligible veteran should have seen a higher payment beginning in January. If you are a veteran who has not seen any change in your monthly VA payment amount, it is worth logging into your va.gov account or calling the VA benefits hotline to confirm your records are up to date and that your payments are being calculated correctly. One thing that is worth addressing directly is the concern that many people have had about the long-term future of Social Security. There has been a tremendous amount of noise in the media and online about whether Social Security is going broke, whether benefits are going to be cut, and whether the program will even exist in its current form in the years ahead. And this is an area where it is really important to separate the political noise from the actual financial facts, because the two are very different things. Here is what the trustees of the Social Security Trust Funds have actually reported. The combined Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund and the Disability Insurance Trust Fund are projected to be able to pay full benefits until around 2035. After that point, if Congress takes no action whatsoever, the trust funds would only be able to pay out approximately 83% of scheduled benefits using incoming payroll tax revenue alone. That means a potential reduction, not an elimination. Social Security would not disappear. It would not go to zero. But without legislative action between now and that date, there could be a benefit reduction for future recipients. However, And this is extremely important to understand. Congress has historically always acted before reaching that kind of crisis point. Changes to Social Security have been made multiple times over the decades to keep the program solvent, and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle understand that touching Social Security benefits is one of the most politically sensitive issues in American politics. The vast majority of current retirees and people close to retirement are extremely unlikely to see their benefits cut. The conversations happening in Washington right now are focused almost entirely on long-term structural reforms, not immediate changes to what current recipients are receiving. So if you are currently receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, your payments are continuing as scheduled. The 2025 COLA has already been applied, your payment dates are set, and right now, there is no approved legislation that would reduce what you are currently receiving. Now let's talk about something a lot of recipients do not take full advantage of, and that is the My Social Security online portal. If you have not set up your account at ssa.gov, you are genuinely missing out on one of the most useful tools the Social Security Administration offers. Once you create your account, you can see your complete earnings history going all the way back to your very first job. You can see exactly how your benefit amount was calculated. You can update your direct deposit information, change your address, request a replacement Social Security card, and get your annual benefit verification letter, which is often required by landlords, lenders, or government assistance programs to prove your income. Your benefit verification letter, sometimes called a proof of income letter or a budget letter, can be downloaded instantly from your online account at any time of year. You no longer have to call the SSA and wait weeks for a letter to arrive in the mail. This is a massive convenience improvement that a lot of seniors are simply not aware of yet. If you need that letter for housing assistance, for applying for Medicare savings programs, for Medicaid, or for any other purpose, you can have it in your hands in minutes by logging into your My Social Security account. Speaking of Medicare, since a large portion of Social Security recipients are also enrolled in Medicare, it is worth noting that the 2025 Medicare Part B premium also changed at the start of this year. The standard monthly Part B premium increased to $185 in 2025, up from $174.70 in 2024. For most Social Security recipients, this premium is automatically deducted from your monthly benefit payment. That means even though your gross benefit went up because of the COLA increase, your net deposit, the amount that actually hits your bank account, might be slightly different than you expected once the higher Part B premium is factored in. This is something that catches a lot of people off guard in January every year. They hear about the COLA increase, they get excited about receiving more money, and then their direct deposit does not seem quite as high as they calculated because the Medicare premium increase partially offsets the COLA gain. This is completely normal, and it is built into the system. The SSA sends out a notice every December explaining exactly what your new benefit amount will be, what your new Medicare premium will be, and what your net payment will look like starting in January. If you receive that notice and set it aside, it is worth finding it and reviewing those numbers so you know exactly what to expect each month. For people who are not yet receiving Social Security but are getting close to retirement age, 2025 also brought some important changes to the earnings limits and the full retirement age calculations. The Social Security full retirement age for people born in 1960 or later is 67. If you claim benefits before that age, as early as 62, your monthly benefit will be permanently reduced. If you delay claiming past your full retirement age, your benefit grows by approximately 8% for each year you wait, up until age 70. After 70, there is no additional increase for waiting, so there is genuinely no financial reason to delay past that point. For people who are still working while receiving Social Security benefits before reaching full retirement age, the earnings limit in 2025 is $22,320 per year. If you earn above that threshold, the SSA will temporarily withhold some of your benefits, but those withheld amounts are not lost forever. They are added back into your benefit calculation once you reach full retirement age, resulting in a slightly higher monthly payment going forward. And finally, let's talk about one more thing that directly affects a lot of people watching this right now, and that is the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, two rules that have long reduced Social Security benefits for certain public sector workers, including teachers, firefighters, and government employees. In late 2024, Congress passed the Social Security Fairness Act, which eliminated both of these provisions entirely. This is genuinely significant legislation because it means that workers who spent careers in public service and were previously having their Social Security benefits reduced under these rules are now entitled to their full benefit amounts. If you or someone you know was affected by the WEP or the GPO, this change means higher monthly payments going forward, and in some cases, back payments for the months since the law took effect. This is real, confirmed, and already being implemented by the Social Security Administration. The SSA is processing these payment adjustments and sending out updated benefit notices to everyone affected. If you believe you are subject to either of these provisions and have not yet received updated information from the SSA, it is worth reaching out directly or checking your My Social Security account to confirm your new benefit calculation is being processed correctly. The bottom line through all of this is straightforward. Payments are rolling out, benefits have increased, and there are real positive changes happening right now that put more money in the pockets of millions of Americans who have earned every single dollar of these benefits. Stay informed, check your accounts, and make sure you are getting everything you are entitled to